And we're on.
She.
I inspired him so evilly. Ha ha ha.
Thank you, Rich.
You're welcome.
You are, in fact, watching The Dorkening.
You're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned.
For all the geek news everywhere. Dorkening.
And this is The Dorkening. Trust me, I'm smarter than these guys.
Because The Dorkening is the best and most educational entertainment and information source that the Trauma team knows of. It's the best. The Dorkening.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You're watching Splash Pages. My name is Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have an awesome show scheduled for you, as always. A ton of comic book news, a lot of stuff going out. We're going to be talking a little bit about Shazam as well, and I have a special guest starring us. And at the end, we're also going to be talking about Injustice versus He-Man, which is a very cool read. And without further ado, Jar Jar!
Sword of Omens, give me sight beyond sight. Hi, guys. Welcome to Splash Pages. It's Tuesday. We're back. 8 o'clock. I'm ready. Let's go.
I love that. I need one of those. Velvet.
Hey guys, it's Tuesday night. It's your man, Velvet J, here on another award-winning podcast episode of Splash Pages. Here we are. Ready to go. Gonna do it right now. Drew, we at.
Drew Meister.
Sword of foam, give me might. I'm good. I'm ready.
I wish we were doing swords tonight. I would have brought up one of my lightsabers.
That doesn't sound right, but Funny enough, and like to introduce our winner of the monthly Splash Pages contest, the only person who submitted, so she's the winner. Everybody, Miss Delphine, aka Carrie Sanders.
Hi, everybody. I have a nice pick.
There you go.
She wins.
Sort of murder, lobotomized.
There you go.
Jeez.
So
Nice. That is an impressive sword, Jeremy. You have quite the girth there.
Thank you.
that's what she said.
Yes.
No,
Was
No.
that,
Off the rails that
that
soon.
is
it's the
that a
first
new-
time I've ever heard that.
is that a new purchase, sir?
It was from Connecticut GamerCon this past
How was
week.
that?
It was excellent. I got to host all the panels. Marta Spetek, Roger Clark, Caitlin Glass, and Kyle Hebert. It was dope. And by the way, Mitch said to me at the end, he went up to me and he's like, Jar Jar, you are now the man. And I don't know what that means.
You're the
but I
man.
am now the man.
Listen, I haven't got to that level with Mitch, and I've been going to his con for years. So you're further than me. So that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that means he was happy with your performance as host of the panel.
I think so too, and I'm very, very happy with it. It was a good weekend. I got some contact info so we can get people on the show, and
Nice.
I think they were happy with it
So,
too.
Is this where you tell us that you're now doing your own podcast with these people, and you're going to tell, you're going to be like, and I'm better than you, so fuck you, Splash Pages, and good night.
No,
Jar
I know
Jar
where
out.
I belong.
Okay, just making sure.
I know my role in life.
Listen.
Right here with you fine fellows.
Yeah, Leo's got to update that intro. We got to get Jar Jar in there.
I know. I need to redo our intro anyway. When I have time, like today, I didn't mention to you guys, I had meetings from 9 a.m. till 4 today. Like, what the frig?
It's not good, man.
No, it was insane. I had like half an hour free, and like during my half hour, 2 people were like pinging me with questions. I'm like, what? I don't even get it. It was a rough day. It was a rough
You
day.
get no breaks.
Exactly.
Mr. Pond.
We know you had a window there with toys that you were just looking at. You're like, this is what I'm looking at.
A half-hour break.
And
That's
then
why it was so
suddenly
mad.
the meeting went wah, 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 wah.
And Leo Kiss keeps thinking, that Batmobile is this
Oh
this
my
long,
God.
and it's
Oh
this
my God.
detailed, and it's made by McFarlane. It will be mine.
I saw
Put
somebody
Keaton
with the
Batman in it.
1/6 Batwing.
Oh, So
we apologize, Carrie, for all the phallic toy references tonight.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. You should see the shows I'm on this time.
Yeah, I was able to pre-order the Batmobile, and I was able to pre-order the Keaton as well.
Where are you going to put all 24 inches?
I don't know.
He's going to put
You're
it in
going
the
to park it
Batcave,
in the
of course.
Batcave?
In the Batcave, of course. With the giant, right next to the giant penny.
And the T-Rex.
You know what's the funny thing? When you showed that Batmobile, I remembered that Simpson episode where Stan Lee just obliterates the kid's Batmobile with a thing. And he's like, and then he just fits it in there. And he's like, you destroyed my toy. Destroyed or converted. And I'm just like,
now, Leo, it wasn't clear because I watched the McFarlane thing. Now, does Michael Keaton Batman come with that, or do you have to buy him separately?
You
You have to buy them separately.
Oh, that's such a dick move, but I understand.
Well, not really, because that Batmobile is wicked cheap for what it is.
Oh, yeah? What do you...
I
what's
do
the
say, I
pre-order
mean, it did
cost?
look kind of plasticky when he was playing with it.
Yeah, it does look a bit cheapish. But I mean, you figure that scale, I think it's what, 1/7 scale or something.
Oh, I thought it was 1/6.
Yeah.
I know they have the
I think
Batwing
even
that's
I think
1/6
even
in the site.
back in the day of like KB Toys, I don't think you could have got a Batmobile that big for $60-$70. Or
oh no,
maybe-
that's a 120 on up purchase, Rich. And
Yeah,
definitely.
And then they have to have like a bunch of they have to have a bunch of like advertising like, oh, don't use this underwater, don't throw it off of a building, because kids in the 90s and 80s were dumb. We
Don't
really
stick
wanted
your
to play like, oh, Batman can fly. No, he cannot.
I remember
Well,
as a
we
kid
only had 3 points of articulation.
That's true.
I remember as a kid bringing my Transformers into the pool. Like we were dumb back then.
Man, you had a pool. I was in a dirt pile with my GI Joes.
What, Leo? Why did you almost drown? I thought Optimus was going to save me. Like, there are no life. Autobots are not lifeguards. You know.
So that pool though, my dad was so proud that he put it in. It was above ground pool, and I know we're totally off the rails, but
that's fine.
You know, growing up on a farm, you put a pool next to the electric fence for the cows, and
wow,
I had
time out. You okay? Hold on a second, John Hammond. You put a pool next to an electric fence.
Hey,
it's
my dad put it there.
Thing.
You
above
I
ground.
got that reference, by the way, Drew.
Thank you. You lovable country bumpkin. I swear to God, you're so precious. Okay, because the fact that you now see how dangerous this is.
Drew, there was a time when we used to ride in the back seat of cars that was basically the trunk with no seatbelts, and it was legal.
Oh, the back of the truck, they told us all to lay down, and we're like flying out of it.
Yeah, don't fly out of the back of the truck.
Back of the truck, when we went logging, my dad had a dump truck, and so we got a cord of wood in the back of the dump truck, and he's like, there wasn't any room in the cab. He's like, oh, just jump into the back. So I'm sitting on top of all these logs. We're going down the highway. What the fuck,
Leo? What year is it?
19.
It was the 80s.
Okay, I understand that, but the way you're talking, like, can Carrie even vote where you're from? Like, Jesus. Like, you know,
I got one too.
I grew up kind of like he did, though. That's the thing. I know these. Yeah, I swam in a cow tank before. We had,
Okay, well,
right over there.
Carrie, with all due respect, okay, you come from a place where you had literally as you put it, the smallest library in the state, possibly the world.
In the entire United States.
Yes. Okay. So, we're going to swap some stories. I mean, when you told me that, I was like, you're like, oh, someone had to have a note in order to take a book out. I was like, I'm sorry, what?
No, I need to have notes to take books out of not the kids section. Oh, I could buy those when I was like 7.
Oh, yeah. Just bring a note from Mom. If it was from Mom.
Mom needs a carton.
But Leo, just out of curiosity, when you went to school, did you bring a sock bucket and a lunch pail? I'm just saying, like,
I do remember the time though that I found a cow skull in the woods and I brought it to school.
That's
for
cool.
Everybody.
Mike.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Drew, why are you surprised? He's the snake master.
No, I know,
but we had one that like we didn't raise cattle, but our neighbor did, and we let him graze on part of our acreage, and we found a cow skeleton after we'd cut a road down to it. It was like in the middle of it, and so we like pretended we were archaeologists, and we were like excavating it. We were like taking brushes down and push up, and my stepsister, we're all like. We're all like 10, 11 years old, somewhere there. And she's like, you guys, maybe it's a rhino. And we have not let her live that down since.
Oh, my God. No, I'm sorry. But listen, Carrie, you have to understand, when I learn more about snakes over there, it's just, I realize the many different worlds that collide when we join these worldly forces, and my reactions are just so funny because having my parents growing up in rural Pennsylvania, when I would tell my friends like, oh, this is the things my family done, like these city kids like, oh, that's fascinating, like this is the greatest thing, and I'm like, no, that's home. It's just And it's just like, so Leo's talking about, cow skulls and whatnot. Like, my man, we were lucky we found rocks. You're finding cow skulls and whatnot, okay? Like, dear God, if we found a snake, it was the coolest thing in fourth grade, Like, the dare was, how far can we go in the swamp without getting into trouble? The answer was not too far.
You mean you
poor sheltered thing?
Yeah.
Well, I could get lost in the woods and nobody would say anything. Like,
okay,
there was
that was
this
the
one.
era too, Leo. It was like, all right, just come home when the lights start
Yeah.
to come on.
Yeah,
Mind you, if I was 2 minutes late from being home when the lights were on, freaking grounded for like 3 months.
Wow.
Well, listen,
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy, I believe you, but I'm having trouble believing Last of the Mohicans over here. Coming in, it's just like, he's just like, well, I got my pocket watch and I got this. I was like, I'll live off the land. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like what survival? I can't. Let's get to the news, please, before I have like a cultural aneurysm.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys are not gonna be done.
Yeah, thank you, Carrie. The squirrel is just saying this is nuts.
Yeah. J-Bo says, guess what I got from work today?
Hopefully not.
A toy.
Yeah. Okay, I know we got a lot of news to go through. Just we're gonna kick it off with some sad news. Some villains attacked the Hall of Heroes Museum.
What?
They have a GoFundMe, which I put the link in the show notes. So they the thieves got away with thousands of dollars of comic books. They stole 50 books from the museum.
Were they all CGC?
Where's that place?
Indiana.
Indiana.
Yep.
On the behalf of Splash Pages, our hearts and prayers go out to this wonderful museum of cultural significance, and we hope that if there is justice indeed, that it comes down on these motherfuckers like Thor's hammer Mjolnir.
Yep.
Amen.
Night.
Yeah, it's Elkhart, Indiana.
Nope.
Let's see. So they stolen around 50 comics. All early key Marvel books were stolen, including Captain America #1, Young Allies #1, Hulk #1 and 2, X-Men #1 and 2, Tales of Suspense #39, the first Iron Man, and many more.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Scumbags. That's so horrible, man.
Like
this,
kind
like
of
if I
stuck
see
with all those.
if I saw
Unless
one
I
of those, I would pull such an Indiana Jones. Just, it belongs in the museum.
It belongs in a museum, damn it.
Damn
it, Junior.
J-Bo says he got a toy, not one toy, but two. Send me a link to GoFundMe. Yeah, J-Bo is right in the...
J-Bo, we're all in, like, dying with anticipation.
Yeah, let us know.
So the next thing.
Okay, so we had this up, Shazam. So as you know, it landed with a kind of a thud.
Did you guys hear Dwayne Johnson's remarks on why he did not want his cutscene to be added to the Shazam vice versa?
No.
How
Why?
he
What was
didn't
it?
want any connection to the Shazam universe?
Because he didn't want to lose the fight, right?
Well, no, he for some reason didn't want any connection with Black Adam and Shazam having any connection at all, and wanted Black Adam to be this like villain for Superman, like this big But I don't even understand.
Yeah, like
I was reading
a
it
Black
earlier
Adam
tonight.
fan and not want to have anything to do with its own universe. That's
right.
It seems completely ludicrous. I forget the article I was reading it from. I want to say Variety or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it went into detail about Dwayne Johnson not wanting any connection. How even there was supposed to be a cutscene of the JSA asking Shazam to join, and that got taken away because Johnson and all this other stuff. But
Weird.
I guess I'm the only one that heard of it. So hold on, I'll
Yeah.
see if I can find it.
Yeah, Jeremy,
Well, no.
I had read an article that said because his contract says he can't lose at the end of the movie fight is why. But if this article says something different, it's just time and another person's perception.
I have yet to see the movie, but I hear things like this, and it really bothers me because while I understand being a fan, ignoring the comics to further your vision to me is a bit of a mistake, and I feel like it's just going to alienate your audience who are expecting some, I want to say 100% authenticity, but they're expecting you to honor the source material instead of just kind of pull I'm just going to do my own thing. I was like, okay, so you're just going to retcon, I don't know, 70 years of history? I mean, Captain Marvel's been there for a long time.
Absolutely. And it's weird, Drew, because I know that he is such a fan he's been wanting to make this movie for close to 20 years.
Agreed.
So clearly he's up on the lore, but maybe his ego at the moment is just so out of control. It is what it is.
I put the article in the private chat for you there, Leo.
Okay.
But interesting.
Was harmed by
what?
Yeah.
While we're waiting for that, what was harmed Black Winnie? Yeah. No. I'm sorry. Like normally, I am a fan of things that Dwayne Johnson does. This, I'm like, no. Do not agree.
Yeah,
it was an acceptable movie. It just wasn't great.
Yeah, Black Adam was okay.
It was just okay.
I thought it went on too long a bit, but
I had to explain to my mom why he wasn't the same one as Shazam. Just because they use the same word doesn't mean they're the same person.
Right.
As if it wasn't kind of obvious, but she's trying. She's trying so hard.
One small thing just before we get to the next news item, just because I have yet to see it, so I don't remember. Did he have the pointy ears?
I don't recall.
I believe he did.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he just didn't have the widow's peak. He didn't have the widow's peak.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. All right.
Well, also on Shazam news, due to the negative press, it was leaked today. It looks like it may be released on VOD a lot sooner than the 45-day standard. So this picture leaked earlier today saying that it's going to be available April 17th.
Whoa. Wow. That is quick.
Yeah. So, what's that, like 20-something?
They're looking to recoup some money, huh?
So then, Leo, do I take it then it is not getting a good reception in general?
It is not. No, it's getting. Go for it, Drew.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Leo, because that actually ties into something that I also wanted to bring up. So, to answer your question, Rich, right now it's grossed about 30.5 million, and its critic score is 53. Which is much lower than the original, which was a 90%. But
I like the original, it was beautiful.
And
go ahead.
No, yeah. So
the critics, I don't really like what critics have to say, but what do the people saying?
What's the audience score at?
Well, that's the thing, is that the director David S. Sandberg, who wrote, and I believe he wrote and directed both Shazam and the sequel. I know he did for it. So he said on Rotten Tomatoes, he did this on his Twitter. I just got my lowest critic score and my highest audience score on the same film. I wasn't expecting a repeat of the first movie critically, but I'm still a little surprised because I think it's a good film. Oh well.
So the audience is seeming to like it.
Yeah, 87% audience score. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't all that that's what matters?
I think so.
Well, I think also on top of it, the director himself said that, he had a horror background. He did Lights Out and he did one of the Annabelles. He's just saying he's been doing Shazam for 6 years. He just wants to go back to doing horror, so he's kind of done with superheroes. And, he's had nothing but good love for the experience and stuff. But he says the one thing he's definitely looking forward to is disconnecting from the superhero discourse online. Like a lot of that really stressed him out, and he just says he's looking forward to not having to deal with that. And it's funny because I believe it's one of the stars. I think it's the woman who's the new Mary Marvel. She was hitting back. She was also criticizing the fans for being like senselessly mean about the film because she encouraged it.
Okay, let's back it up because it's not truly fans. A lot of negative talk, it sounds like, is coming from the friggin' Snyder cultists. And should we even designate them as fans?
No. Well, I mean,
it's the true fans are going to go into this with an open mind. The true fans are you know, they're not going to love it just because it's Shazam, but you know, it's. I mean, you're looking at the audience score of 87%. You know, that seems pretty decent. But the problem is, the critic score 52%. That's going to keep the normies away from it.
Yeah.
Why is 30 million bad? Is the budget like insane?
Probably was close to 100.
Okay.
I don't know. I honestly
figure with CGI and everything these days.
You're basically talking about the first weekend 30 million. That doesn't sound bad.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm Rich. I'm looking that up right now. Excuse me.
So, Janice, thank you for watching. Says, who's playing Jack Sparrow on the next one coming out? Is it Dwayne Johnson? No, I
at
think
this rate, yes.
No, we're back to Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
Harrison
Johnny
Ford.
Yeah,
Rich,
he's in everything now.
Yes,
Rich,
Drew?
to answer your question, the budget was 110 to 125 million, and so far it's made 66.4 million. So
so half the budget in a few days. I don't think that's terrible.
Well, but you know how that is. They always compare it to how the original movie did, and if you don't see something on that level or better, you know, it's automatically a disappointment. You know,
I just
that makes me feel a little sad because I mean I realize that these are revenue-based businesses, but if you put out a decent story that the fans are liking, just let it be. Stop being so critical of it.
Well, again, it's you know, the friggin' trolls, the Snyder cultists, the negative press about the 30 million that started hitting the web like early Friday.
Right.
Like, you know, give the movie a weekend to give it a chance. You know, Jabo says they are not true fans. They are the trolls in the mom's basements. And Janice says Johnny Depp is a better character in the Pirates, so he's the best because it would earn more income. I love Johnny Depp in the Pirates movies, and I hope he does more. You know, it's the whole.
I just wish he would keep Jack Sparrow in the Pirates movies.
Thank
bring
you.
him over to the other movies he does.
Thank you, Janice. Really agree with what you said.
Yeah, and can we also like make the Pirates movies better? Because I'm sorry, after the third one, it started really fading, and by the time Stranger Tides or the one with the Bermuda Triangle come out, I was like, who's watching this? Because I'm so done. Like,
so just real quick, Jabo did send pictures of.
You picked them up?
Oh, some new D&D toys. Oh, and
look.
I thought we were against the new D&D toys. What is going on here? Somebody.
No, we're against the foldable D&D die, right?
He said the
Is that
dice.
what Jabo said?
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn it!
I watch everywhere.
Jabo says I haven't seen it yet. I can't wait to see the new Shazam movie. And
they're on sale right now. That's right. Target. I look at that Target. Target is a great place for toys because if you wait long enough, they will drop those things to pennies. It's fantastic. I'm waiting on this Sunman 3-figure He-Man set. It was priced at $50. Just went on sale for $24.99.
I feel like Jabo, either if I ever want to buy a toy, I feel like if I ask either you or Jabo about it, like it's just going to be how I am when someone's like, "Hey, do you recommend what comics to read?" I'm just like,
"Oh, hold on a second. Let me tell you about that
Step
toy
into my
back in
office.
1994."
You know,
interesting. Leo, you got any other news there, big guy?
I have plenty. So let me find a picture for it.
2 hours later.
Yeah, no, sorry, I don't have a picture for it. But Captain Marvel, the current run is ending in June. with
Yes.
a double-sized number 50, written by Kelly Thompson.
Mhm.
So the current run, which is
Hold on,
ending
are we
with number
talking about
50.
Shazam or are we talking
No.
about Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel, and
Marvel.
Marvel.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So the current run was released with the first movie. They're looking to restart the series with the second movie coming out.
I hate when they do that, but I understand what they're doing.
Yeah, Jeremy, so you always know the distinction. I think DC has officially changed Shazam's name to Captain Sparklefingers.
Oh, is it just Sparkle Fingers now?
Yeah. Or you could always call him. You could always call him by what Dr. Savannah used to call him, the big red cheese.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So
all the Indian stuff. Shazzy baby. Shazam.
Superman, the 4K collection, is being pushed back.
Ooh.
Not being pushed back by that much. April 18th to May 9th.
Okay.
I'm going to wait till Christmas to pick it up because 116 is a bit too much for me.
Oh, it'll go on sale by Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas it'll definitely go on sale.
What's encapsulated in this one, Leo?
So they're being re-released, all the movies in 4K.
Every Superman
with the Donner cut?
Yep, with the Donner cut.
Wow. Okay.
Do you get a special action figure? That always makes my day when you get that in the.
Do you get a prop Kryptonian crystal that you definitely won't drop in the water, Leo?
No, but one of the so this is what it includes: Superman the movie from 1978, Superman 2, Superman 2 to Donner cut, Superman 3, Superman 4 Quest for Peace. Premium extras include Superman number 78, number 1 collectible book.
Nice.
Authenticity photo book. But also, I can't find it here, but I believe one of the DVDs or Blu-rays has a 4K remaster of one of the original cartoons.
No good.
Yeah.
I have some old cartoons.
The Fleischer cartoons.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so one of the Fleischer cartoons was remastered. And that's
Superman versus the monster villains.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And, one of the other ones over here. I love those old school fucking Superman cartoons.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. What else do you have, Leo? Because I feel like we'll just go across.
Yeah. I'm just gonna flash through all my stuff. Flash. So I don't want to spoil anything because this got released today. But if you are a Flash fan, they retcon quite a bit of one character's history in today's episode or issue.
Really?
Yeah. So
who is that?
Wally. Wally's being retconned. So spoiler alert, essentially everybody that he's killed essentially is now back alive on Planet Flash.
Are we talking about the Heroes in Crisis bullshit?
Yep. Yeah, everybody that was killed in Heroes in Crisis is now back on Planet Flash.
Stuck in the Speed Force or something?
Thank you, Drew, for interpreting Leo speak.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
And they're starting a 1-minute war, which is going to lead up to the Flash reboot coming in September.
It's a fast war.
Yeah.
Some would say it's premature.
Yeah.
Get out.
James Gunn to helm the Superman Legacy movie.
Yeah.
That last week.
That was one of my items. Nice.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Totally fine with that.
Yeah. Leo, did you see that his release date? He didn't realize whatever the release date that he put out on Twitter, that his brother reached out to him and he was crying, and he's like, "Why are you crying?" He's like, "Do you realize that the release date you did on Superman Legacy is the date that Dad died?"
Oh wow.
So he wrote, James Gunn wrote that it means more to him because I guess his father passed 3 years ago, and he didn't have a family connection, and now that his dad has passed, he really feels that he's really loving and embracing. So not only is he writing and now directing You know, he said Peter Safran's been bugging him to direct it the whole time, and now he finally made a decision. And there you go.
I'm wicked happy.
Just thought I wanted to expound on that a little bit, Leo. But proceed.
No. Thank you. That's
I think a James Gunn Superman.
that hits in the feels there. You know, that's wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look at Leo getting overwhelmed.
I mean, he's getting happy.
Leo and Superman overwhelmed. Is anyone surprised?
Listen, one of these days at a con, I feel like we need to put give a tracker watch on him, and then it starts beeping. I'm like, oh, Superman, I need help. I'm like, all right, Jimmy, hold on a second. You know, all right, we're gonna find you.
Jana says, I have a question. I love to write, and I wrote a script called Tattoo Granny, who is accidentally put on her grandson's arm as a tattoo, which starts to come alive. She wants to know what we think.
We need more. Can you send us a script?
Read it. Yeah.
Is Granny like evil though, or is Granny like helping them out? Like, what
is the tattoo evil?
Like, is she opinionated? Because this can go so many ways. This can go comedy, where
Granny
it's like, you know, where it's like comedy, where it's just like, you know, he's on a date and, you know, well, that's rude, you know, or is it like horror, where like Rich says at the night, it's like, you are a failure. You should kill your landlord. Eat a butter.
She's a whore.
Exactly. You know,
look at that lipstick. It's disgusting.
Exactly.
See,
you know,
good enough for you.
You guys totally.
It's like Psycho, but with ink. You know.
Yeah. We're like a brain trust. We can just throw things at ideas.
Oh, she said it's comedy.
She makes your trouble, and you guys totally went in the wrong area. I thought it was going to be Darkseid's Granny.
Oh, Granny Goodness.
Oh, Darkseid's Granny. I like the Darkseid.
She scares me.
Yeah. I say it, Darkseid.
Darkseid.
You were the guy that went up to Jack Kirby and was like, I just know it's actually Darkseid, isn't it? And Kirby couldn't help himself. Was like, you're right, son. Go ahead with that.
Jago says, way to go, Rich, making me cry, missing my dad now. Yeah.
God damn.
That's what I do. I hit you in the feels, baby. I hit you in the feels. That's what I do.
Yeah, it's a tough thing being in the dead dad clubs, you know. It's yeah. So she says, what else did she say? Y'all rock, love listening to you. Thanks, Janice. And she says, I could go either way.
Oh, the concept sounds great.
Yeah, the concept does sound good.
If you want to go somewhere to get a little bit more feedback, I'm a moderator on a Discord server for writers, and it's just called Write, WRITERIGHT. I didn't name it, but I'm on there. If you hop on, just look us up, get you approved. I'm Delphine over there, and you can ask people what they think about it, and we can give you some feedback and some ideas too. So there's that for you.
There you go.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you, Carrie. I'm going to try to get through the rest of mine really quick. So Marvel Studios spoilers on Reddit is still locked.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Anybody in after the Ant-Man, huh?
Yeah. So the Ant-Man script was leaked on there. Sorry. What's that, Jar Jar?
I'm sorry. I'm just reading Janice's comments. And they make me laugh. I'm sorry.
What's the woman's name? I'm surprised there's not a spin-off.
We don't usually let them talk around here, Janice.
There's probably going to be
a joke, by the way.
Yeah, that'll be a joke, Jar Jar.
That was.
Cancel.
Delphine kicking my ass.
Yeah. Carrie, what was your name on the site again?
I'm Delphine over there, DELPHINE, but we have a bunch of moderators. Somebody will get you started. I'll swing on over and say hi later if you join.
Leo, more news. We're already almost on 40 minutes.
Yep. Marvel Studios spoilers, like I mentioned, still locked. It was a Reddit community that the Ant-Man script was leaked. So Disney set down the hammer. Next on my list, Sweet Tooth Season 2 is coming in next April 27th.
I'm a little worried that it's been too long and it's not going to get the viewership it should and get canceled because of that. but
Totally.
I hope not.
Same thing
It's a
happened with Warrior
great-
Nun. Like, I
Yeah.
loved the first season, but when the second season came out, it was too long. I didn't care.
Well,
you know.
that's how I feel about Carnival Row right now. I was about to go and watch it the other day. I'm like, I haven't seen this in like 3-4 years. I'm like, I have to rewatch the first season
we
again.
delved back into it, Jeremy, and we watched the first 2 episodes, and then we were like, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch Sweet Tooth because before I watched it, I read the whole series because I want to make sure I'm understanding everything, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping there's more. But I agree with Jeremy and Leo, where sometimes too long really does hurt the story and the attention span of its audience. So
yeah,
I get you there.
Yeah. Next, the first image of Anthony Mackie for Captain America: New World Order was released. They started filming today.
Oh, is that looking like a little bulge there in his arm? That it doesn't look like he's got any washboard abs at all. He might have a little extra meat right there.
Yeah, maybe
a little chubby there.
Okay.
I don't know. Things I say.
My hero.
What else, Leo?
Is that supposed to have with a Winter Soldier as well, or is that just a series by himself?
I think it's a movie.
Oh, is it a movie?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be
good for him.
Captain America 4.
They're actually calling him Cap. All right, good for them.
Hot Toys released the image. They're going to be releasing a Kang.
Dude,
that looks good.
That's damn accurate.
Yeah, that is 1/6 scale.
Nice.
Oh, really? 1/6 scale?
That's amazing.
Is it just a bust or is it a whole?
No, full figure.
So what? 8-inch?
That's gorgeous.
No, much bigger than that.
He's a really short man if he's only 8 inches.
Figure. Let's see.
Well, Leo, looks like you're working.
There it is. 12 inches. 12.2 inches.
Yeah, 31 centimeters. Yep. 30 points of articulation.
Okay.
Yeah, they're. Oh yeah, you see it right there. Thanks, Rich.
Reading now.
Yeah, their 1/6 scales are super detailed. But they can be really expensive. But shockingly, it looks like this is only $285 for a pre-order.
Only $285.
Dude,
wow.
Do you know? Yeah. Last item I have on my list is coming on Free Comic Book Day.
Which is May the 3rd this year?
I believe so. But we are being introduced to Stark Sentinels.
Stark
Sentinels. Wow, interesting.
Oh, this can't be good.
Yep.
This can't be good.
Yep. So that is coming out, a new series on Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, fuck.
Wow, that feels like an original concept from Marvel. That feels really good.
Yeah, it's going to be Avengers X-Men #1, featuring the new Stark Sentinels.
Nice.
No, this is going to blow up horribly.
Yeah. That's what I have for news. What do you have there, Drew?
Oh, I know. I'll go last. Rich, if Jeremy want to go next, that's fine with me.
I got one thing and one thing only.
All right, cool.
I've got that Andy Kaufman, the man, the myth, the compulsive masterpiece, is finally going to be let into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, buddy.
We all know who Andy Kaufman is, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Wait, he's still alive?
No.
Oh.
He died. Did you not see the movie?
I might have.
No, it didn't have a superhero in it. He didn't care.
What do you mean Andy Kaufman was? Well, no, he wasn't in it, but Jim Carrey was in it.
Jim Carrey was pretty brilliant in it.
I thought so, too. I've watched that movie a billion times over. I was a huge Kaufman fan. I watched Taxi all the time with my dad. And stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
And
I love
thought
Taxi.
that character was one of the funniest things in the world.
Yeah.
But he was the what do you call it? He wrestled women.
Yeah.
And that's why he's
As a
being
gag.
let into the Hall of Fame. And it was really cool.
And then he had a famous thing with Jerry Lawler, didn't he?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
he slapped Jerry Lawler on the Tonight Show, maybe, was it?
I think it was tonight. It was with Johnny Carson, right?
I don't know if it was Johnny Carson or if it was
It
Dave.
was one of those guys. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay,
Definitely
that's
one of those
cool.
iconic moments. Very cool.
Yeah.
And so my first news item is local news, our famous Terrificon that we all love to go to at Mohegan Sun, which
My
Jar and Jeremy
favorite
just
con.
went to their sister show, GamerCon, of course, and rocked it out as the panel awesomeness. And I hope we get to see those panels soon, Jeremy.
Yeah, I believe Leo has the memory cards. One of the panels, the video didn't get recorded for some reason, but we got all the audio.
The
of it,
curse of Splash
Technology.
Pages. We always
Yeah.
lose one.
Yep.
Yeah.
It happens. But anyway, in Terrificon news, they announced today Walt Simonson, famous for his Thor run in Marvel and his Thor Ragnarok run in IDW, and his wife, the amazing Louise Simonson, who's well known for her original X Factor work early on and her creation of the character Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So we are not worthy. We are not worthy. Thank you, Terrificon. I cannot wait to see them this summer.
For real.
It's going to be really great.
I always love Terrificon for their comic creator list. It's just insane.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
Well, don't worry, Leo. There won't be a suitcase of comics this year for me to sign. So that means more time for interviews.
Yeah, I need to order our table.
Oh yes, I'll chip in with you.
And that reminds me, Rich, if that offer about rooming is still on the table, we should look into that.
Yeah, as long as you don't mind, it's gonna be me and wifey and you then.
That's fine. Just leave. Just remember, I've said this before.
Don't worry,
leave
no romance at the con.
You got to leave the rubber door on the handle. Then I'll know. The rubber nose on the handle. Okay. Whoa. The clowns are making whoopee. Okay. I'll be back.
Well, just putting this out there, I had to go yesterday back up to the old farmhouse because my mom thought we had squatters again. But upstairs, there is a bedroom that's kind of okay.
No.
But it's during the summer, so you might
In the
have
snake
to
house.
No.
I will fly in to go and stay in an abandoned farmhouse in the
With snakes, Gary.
okay room.
Yeah,
I raised snakes. I used to. They were my pets.
Okay, well,
Listen.
you watched the show. You understand the level of snakes that we're talking about.
Listen, this is Carrie. I'm still convinced is some sort of alternate version of one of us, or like somehow like something like maybe like she's related to Leo in another timeline. So that's why she adapts so well to the show.
What state are you
something.
in, Carrie?
What?
What state? What state are you in? What state in the U.S.?
I'm in Nebraska. We have
Nebraska.
nothing.
You're a corn husker.
Corn. You have corn.
No, I am not a corn husker anymore because I
Whoa.
live like 4 blocks from the stadium, and
Okay.
so yeah,
Gotcha.
I've had to
Corn's
work
at
with
least
that.
a half mile away.
Yeah.
Did you see how she
Yes.
she shut that down? That was like a little trigger for her. It's like, no, not
All
that.
right, all right.
So
There will be no.
I'll move on.
corn
So,
husking here.
in other news, shocker, Marvel Studios veteran Victoria Alonso just exited this past Friday.
Anybody know
As,
why?
we learned the last time Brandon was on, she's like the co-person right next to Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
So that is an interesting because it says Victoria Alonso, the longtime and high-profile Marvel Studios executive, whose time with the company dates back to the first Iron Man, has left the studio. This is by the Hollywood Reporter. The reason for the exits are unclear, but she's parted ways with Marvel on Friday. Alonso has been with the company since the earliest days of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, establishing an enviable 17-year run and watching the studio grow from operating above a Mercedes-Benz dealership in Beverly Hills to being acquired by Disney. During her tenure, the MCU became the highest-grossing franchise in film history. So I'm sure she'll be fine wherever she goes, but it's interesting that how do you go from being like Kevin's right hand to just leave it? That's a story that
Maybe
needs
she's
to be told.
coming to DC.
Oh, work with Mr. Gunn, perhaps?
I don't know.
Do you
Create
feel,
a whole new universe.
What's that, Leo?
do you feel a shift happening in the comic sphere? Like like Marvel, are we starting to see like cracks in the base? Like
the falling
we've
of
talked
the
about
mouse.
the Marvel burnout and stuff, and a lot
Yeah.
of people read into that because you see a couple of videos and people are like, oh, the Marvel burnout, you get something to talk about. But we've talked about this. If the story's good, we're still going to watch it.
Oh yeah,
Right.
We're gonna watch it anyways, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
We're those
reminds
people.
me, Shazam. If you're gonna go see it at the theater, since the bad reviews, they have been pushing the big spoiler at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be careful on the interwebs.
They actually put it right into the commercial this now.
Oh really?
Yeah, they do.
I'm thinking
They totally
the
put it into
same-
the commercial. I saw it.
If it's the same spoiler, I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's WW.
Yeah.
Yep. They released or they announced a new toy for that figure today as well.
The commercial I saw earlier, either today or yesterday.
Yeah, it's totally in the trailer.
Front and center. I was like, what?
Oh wow.
There's always so much.
So my last news item, guys, is actually comic related. In Doctor Strange #4, our buddy Wong is going to head up a new part of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's going to be called WAND, W.AND.
Whoa, that's cool.
Say what that is, but WAND stands for, hold on, I got to go to the other page, Wizardry, Alchemy, and Necromancy Department.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah. Look at Marvel really tapping into the magic. So I mean, DC's really been doing that with all the JLA dark stuff, and but I like to see what Marvel does with it, besides with Doctor Strange and Clay.
Well, yeah, and that makes sense because, to be quite honest, right now Marvel Strange Academy is the only book I'm still buying from Marvel at this time. And it's really interesting to see, the new direction. It's nice to see that fresh blood and against these older traditional types, and it just reminds you that a lot of people, we need this. We need that new stories again, instead of the same fucking thing. Like, oh God, how many times does Strange have to fight Dormammu? We get it. Magic. Move on.
Absolutely, but that's all I got. My third one was the Superman one, which Leo and I both ended up sharing that one.
Sorry.
It's all good. I appreciate it. Listen, man, you just found
Carrie, do you have any news or?
I had 15 minutes notice that I was hopping on, so no, I do not have any news.
So you have no tips how to look glamorous in 15 minutes before going on to a show?
Pull on your merch shirt and throw on your lipstick. That's about it.
There you go.
There you go, guys. There you go, everybody.
I agree. I didn't put on my lipstick tonight, Carrie, but one night I will.
Well, my lips are green. Your hair is green.
There we go.
It works.
Whoa, Carrie! You're not trying to steal Rich's spot now, are you? I mean,
I mean, I know I took a week off, and you took my spot last week. I mean, should I be nervous? I mean, I know you and Drew have this little secret romance going on behind the scenes.
What? That is, you know what?
J,
And,
okay.
I don't
Velvet
know.
J.
Look at all these rumors. On me every day.
Okay. So seriously, Ace Chemicals, you've been sipping that green Kool-Aid a little too much, my friend. Okay. I'm just training Carrie to be the backup in case I suddenly suffer a stroke. And we are always blessed with a comic book encyclopedia who's literate, conscious, and looks damn good in the right lighting. So it's no romance, it's training. Big difference.
I gotcha.
Yeah, he challenges me with you have to read these 6, and there's a couple things before it, but you don't have to read that. So I read 271 comics in 4 days.
And I'm
because
just
damn it, he said I couldn't.
See, yeah, she's just like, oh, hey,
accepted.
Exactly. And she's like, oh, can you recommend me? And I'm just like this. And she's like, all right, cool. This will be done by next Tuesday. And I'm like, what?
That would put me into a reading coma.
Right? Like,
which has been done. I'm like,
you know, I was like, wow, I could do 5 books a day. But she was like, no, I just read like 60 in one night. What did you do? And I'm like, I'm comic book inadequate. Like, dear God.
yeah.
All right, Drew. So at almost an hour in, do you have some news?
I have some quick news and some really cool comic stuff on the DC side. The first one is for all this is upcoming stuff. So the first one being Titans issue 2, which is coming out in June 2013. No, not that one, Leo. The other one. Thank you. Will mark the death of one of the core heroes. The synopsis for the issue reads, a Titan is murdered. Will a new era for the Titans end almost as soon as it's begun? After one of their own is found dead, the remaining Titans must look for answers before more blood spills. Can they outrun the horrible fate they've been dealt? Plus, a new brother blood rises as the team begins to fall apart. So this is happening fairly soon after the Titans have been declared the official replacement of the Justice League in the DC universe. So this is written by Tom Taylor, art and cover by Nicholas Scott. So the cover, which we
taking on a lot of work these days.
He is. So already in that cover, you see Nightwing, you see Donna Troy, you see Starfire, you see Cyborg. So the question being is, it could be Wally West, aka Flash, Beast Boy, aka Garfield Logan, or Rachel Roth, aka Raven. So, you know, it could be any of those. Honestly, it's not the first time the Titans have experienced a loss over time. I mean, we've certainly seen this happen before, but you know, especially so close after they're basically starting as the premier superhero team in DC. I was like, boy, it's gonna be a rough ride. So
I really like the direction Tom goes with a lot of his writing, though. So it'll be something to look into.
I mean, having read now all of his Nightwing run, all of Deceased, all of now his work on Injustice, honestly, I have complete faith in him and his storytelling abilities. And speaking of my other item, which Leo already showed the images to, is a really cool upcoming news about Nightwing issue 105, also by Tom Taylor and
this
Bruno.
One, anybody
Redondo.
else get a weird feeling from this pick? Yeah.
Well, that's the cool thing about this. This is another special issue that's uniquely designed for the reader to be Nightwing for a day. So according to DC, this oversized story will feature Nightwing from his point of view, allowing readers to use his Eskrima sticks and leap through Bloodhaven. You don't want to miss this issue, for there will be other surprises along the way, including who will show up beside you. So this is
interesting.
A POV comic.
Exactly.
Is this the first for this?
I mean, they've done
in DC. I mean, at least
I honestly can't remember a book like this before. I mean, the only thing I can think of is, you know, like old video games like Doom, where you're playing the first person shooter kind of thing. Leo already showed what you just saw, which was the cover from Bruno Redondo. And then that one right there, that's the variant from Vasco Georgiev.
That's interesting.
Personally, Tom's run of Nightwing with Bruno Redondo and other artists was absolutely stellar. I enjoyed it thoroughly from issue 1 to the latest one, issue 100, where they announced the Titans are moving into Bloodhaven and then soon be their new Justice League. So, I mean, the POV thing is pretty much something we've seen, you know, in video games and the occasional film. And we have seen books like in Multiversity where they talk to you, but we've never had really something where you're seeing it from those perspectives. So personally, when that comes out, I'm definitely gonna give it a read, and I'll definitely give it a good review. So yeah, but that comes out June 20th, Nightwing 105. Check it out, man.
Nice.
And that's it.
And Jeremy, we've neglected you for your deep dive for the last few weeks, and
we're gonna do that, huh?
I know you've been working on that. You did some deep research on the man Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex, DC's anti-hero, appearing in DC Comics, was created in 1971 by John Albano and Tony DeZuniga. I probably said that horribly wrong. But he first appeared in All-Star Western number 10, which 2 issues later got renamed to Weird Western Tales, with Jonah Hex headlining up until issue 38. And then the start of his own self-titled series. From there, it lasted 92 issues. Since, he's had 3 regular series, Hex, Jonah Hex, Volume 2, and All-Star Western, Volume 3. As well as 3 limited series where DC was Vertigo imprinted. He was born November 1st, 1838, to Woodson and Virginia Hex in beautiful northwestern Missouri, for those who are from there. Sold by his abusive alcoholic father at the age of 13 as a slave to the Apache tribe, who worked him hard until the day he saved their chief from a puma attack. The chief then adopts Jonah Hex as his son, who he already has a son, who becomes very jealous by this. Before long, they have a fight. Jonah Hex is kicked out of the tribe because he kills off the son, and it's thought of as done in a bad way. Eventually, he returns to American civilization. He joins up with the army. Actually, he's part of the Southern Army, too, when the Civil War breaks out in 1861. He joins the Confederate States and becomes a lieutenant in the 4th Cavalry. But having been a slave himself once, Jonah is unwilling to fight for its preservation. And in September of 1862, after learning about the Emancipation Proclamation, he surrenders. After surrendering, him and his old comrades, he was supposed to get them a safe surrender, but eventually they were all killed in the fight that happened during that. After surrendering his old comrades and them being killed, he is then hunted down by both sides because he was against the killing of his comrades for some reason. After this, he returns to his old tribe where he's forced to fight his stepbrother to the death. Though he wins the fight, the means by which he does so are thought wicked, and so he is then scarred with the heated tomahawk and gives him his scarring of his face, the Jonah Hex we all know and love today. I didn't go too much into the mystical part of Jonah Hex. He gets married, he gets hunted down, dies, gets brought back to life. Like, all sorts of crazy stuff ensues with this character. I could go on for another 20 minutes, really. I would say if you really want to learn about the guy, get into the books, because they're actually really interesting if you're into the Western style kind of stuff. If you want more of the supernatural stuff, you could watch the movie. I don't know if anybody wants to do that. But
there is a animated short, I think, also from DC.
Yeah, that's about 15 minutes. It's pretty good too.
And also, Jonah Hex essentially is a relic of a time of Western comics.
Yeah.
So, it was really great seeing him. And he's also a vehicle of DC time travel. I mean, at one point, he gets thrown into like a post-apocalyptic future and is dealing with mutants and such. Another time, he's interfacing with modern heroes. I mean, it even comes to a point where Jonah Hex sees his own body, which when he died was, if I'm correct, right? Yeah, he was stuffed and preserved in a museum. So he's literally seeing himself as how he's going to end, which of course they don't exactly say how, because comics want to be ambiguous, because you don't want to nail down something that's literally going to get retconned.
That's interesting, Drew. I had no idea he had any space connection at all because I remember seeing him in an episode of JLA Action, and he's in like a space train, and I'm like, what does he have to do with space? I was still confused. But
there are some weird things if you travel down the Jonah Hex rabbit hole.
Yeah,
okay.
And
so it's way deeper than we would ever imagine.
Yeah, that's. I was telling you guys in the chat, like a lot of this stuff I had no idea about. Like I knew the Western stuff,
right?
But the mystical stuff, I was just like, whoa.
Yeah,
and
so how many days is that going to take me?
Too many. Decades of stories, Carrie. But essentially, and then Jonah's depictions throughout time. So he showed up in an episode of Batman animated series of dealing that involved Ra's al Ghul, where he was a big thorn in his side. It's also pretty much his son as well. You see him in it's a Justice League episode involving Kronos, which again time travel, where he helps the Justice League in fighting Kronos and his dominion over time. And then, of course, he shows that he's known a lot about time travel. And the Justice League asked him, he said, I've seen some shit. Like, so they do that. He shows up in Brave and the Bold, where Jeremy, like you said, he doesn't get involved with space and travel and riding like a cybernetic horse through the cosmos as a bounty hunter. And he also made we're going to ignore the Josh Brolin movie. He made his other big screen debut on Legends of Tomorrow, which was in the first season. And he looked great. He had the face, the attitude, the Confederate uniform. But
for some reason in the movie he could raise the dead and talk to them about who killed them or whatever.
The movie, Hollywood did its thing where, oh no, this character needs a little more. We just need a little more. We're going to add necromancy.
Wasn't scary enough that his face was half burnt off or anything.
Yeah. It's funny because, and everybody check this out, because I do believe this YouTuber I used to watch, who did a lot of stuff with like Marvel toys and this stuff with Deadpool, he did this thing where a toy Jonah Hex basically was talking to somebody about like Disney stuff. And he had this alcoholic dream where the story was cast, but it was Toy Story characters instead of DC. So, Woody Hex, and Lotso was the guy who basically was making fun of how awful Jonah Hex was. If I can find the video, I totally will send it to you guys. And it's just so funny because it's just all these Toy Story toys, but reimagined as in the context of Jonah Hex. And of course, Woody is Jonah. And they even do that one line. He shoots the baby from the third movie and is like, wah, wah, wah. Cut myself shaving. What about yours? I'm just like, I can't.
Apparently he had 3 appearances in the Arrowverse.
Did he?
Yeah. So let me.
I only remember him on
Legends.
Legends.
So he made a cameo appearance in Flash episode "Welcome to Earth 2."
Yes.
And then Legends of Tomorrow, and then alternate universe incarnation of Hex from Earth 18 in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh.
Yeah, where he was a shithead in that one. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. You mentioned Brave and Bold, Justice League Action. Apparently, there's multiple songs about him as well. Yeah,
it sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's an odd character, but they're still putting out stories about him. All-Star Western, which is a New 52 title, I definitely recommend. It's Jonah Hex in Gotham City. It's great. And some of the best stories, I gotta be honest with you, Darwin Cook did of Jonah Hex. Beautiful artwork, haunting. His run that Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray did, also great. But there's a lot. So if you really wanted to deep dive, that'll take you 2 weeks?
Yeah, I'd say, let's see.
2-3 weeks, because it's about 3 decades of stories.
40,
but you got it. You did 217 in a week. 30, you're fine. Tackle the Ultimate
71.
Universe.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
That's where I was going next. Was the Ultimate Universe actually?
Yep. Yeah. All right.
Nice.
So-
So that was a deep dive. Great job, Jeremy.
Great job,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
Thank you. It only took 3 weeks to come out with it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
So, and again,
so
Jeremy, the comic this week is again in your wheelhouse. I mean, this is your episode, Jeremy.
This is me and Drew, actually, I have to say. Drew on Injustice, me for Masters of the Universe. Like, this is a huge crossover.
Indeed. So, Jeremy, how do we do this? Because this is literally two worlds, and I don't like that I'm representing Injustice, especially since I have a mustache, which kind of makes me feel like Henry Cavill's Superman right now. Except we won't have to spend $12 million to remove it during the show, Leo.
Speaking of mustache, just real quick,
That's perfect.
Drew Lasso.
Drew Lasso.
Yes, this is the first of my mustache closet cosplays. Ted Lasso. I believe this is season 2 with the aviator shades. I'm very proud of this. I borrowed that, and that jacket is from a friend of mine who he loved the whole thing, and I was like, "Can I borrow this?" He said, "Absolutely." So yes, thank you.
Does Ted Lasso not wear shoes?
You know what, Rich? I was comfortable. I was comfortable in my home. You can go fuck yourself.
I noticed that too. I was wondering myself.
Fine. When I post a photo, it will be from the knees up. Okay.
There you go.
Judgmental pricks.
Creative editing.
So Injustice versus
Here we are.
Universe.
I love
we
it.
We have fallen into, well, it seems like the Injustice universe has jumped into Eternia to recruit He-Man to come in to help them, because he is a powerful magic user in a way. All of his powers come from magic. Therefore, the only threatening thing to Superman is magic.
Yes.
So they come and recruit him. And Drew, if you want to explain what's going on in the Injustice universe, up to this point, I have no idea why they decided to come get. I know why, but what was going on in the Injustice universe that they came for He-Man?
So, and I'm fortunate Carrie's here because she can back me up in case any of my details are wrong. So thank you, Miss Delphine. Much appreciated there. So essentially what's happened in the Injustice world, this takes place after Injustice 2, and this follows the alternate ending. There are 2 alternate endings of the video game, one where Superman wins and the other one where Batman wins. So this one is a Superman win, where Superman not only Brainiac is destroyed, but he basically converts his Brainiac's technology into essentially restarting his regime, but even better. And one of the big things is that he plugs in Batman to essentially become a supercomputer, to be used essentially to control what remains of the populace. Because this is Earth after years of battling between the resistance that was led by Batman and then the regime, which was spearheaded by Superman and his allies. I mean, and Carrie can back me up on this. There's been wars. There's been battles with Green Lantern Corps, gods, Ra's al Ghul. God, there's been so much back and forth. And
I love the splash pages in this. I'm sorry.
Everybody. And
so cool.
So this is essentially the Injustice's Hail Mary. They've been scouring the multiverse for someone who's going to be able to handle Superman. And since he has 2 weaknesses, one being kryptonite and the other one being magic, they're banking on kryptonite. This kryptonite, aka magic, which honestly, it comes at a really interesting time because, as Jeremy would point out, He-Man has just dealt with a usurper who's
yeah, it's
right.
pretty much kind of what's going on in the Injustice universe. He-Man, what happened before this was He-Man had lost his memory by Skeletor, but nobody had known that He-Man was missing because there was a usurper, aka Faker, was in his place. And that's actually how Skeletor has managed to land in the Injustice realm.
Right.
They had thought they had defeated Skeletor in this battle, but it seems he had just escaped through a portal to another universe.
Hey, Jeremy, just a second. Now, is Faker? I didn't really understand from the story. Is he a robot? Is
Yes.
He's a shape-changing robot or a shape-changing android?
He's a robot that was created by Skeletor. I don't believe he, to my knowledge, could change shape. I thought he just looked like He-Man, but according to this, there is some shape changing going on.
Okay, so he is sentient, or is he just programmed?
He is sentient in the thing that he definitely went on his own will after being made by Skeletor. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Continue, please.
Which I love those splash pages. Every character I'm sitting there, oh my god, there's Tila, there's Ram Man, there's
Well, that's the thing, is that, you know, we all recognize this artwork is Freddie E. Williams III, who did all three of the Batman TMNT series with James Tynion.
He was actually supposed to do a Masters of the Universe TMNT series, but it got cut.
Yeah. So you had Tim Seeley jump in, who we remember from the Black Label Superman versus Lobo book, among other things, like Hack Black.
Best buddy.
What was that, Rich?
He's Dr. Chris's best buddy, isn't he? Tim Seeley?
Yeah, they're very close. So, you know, you have this, and you have He-Man as a cross, because it appears the populace liked Faker in rule better than him. So he's wondering, oh, is authoritarian, totalitarian better than him? And he's even wondering, like, do I even need to be Prince Adam? Because it seems like everybody just wants He-Man. And then you've got, you know, Damian Wayne, who Carrie can back me up here, who's gone a long way in his Injustice travels. You know, he's Batman, and he's pulling quick, Marty, get in. We've got to go back to Injustice. You know, it's the universe, Marty. Something's got to be done about your kids. I do want to say, personally speaking, I read this a while ago, rereading this, this story just slayed. It was fun, but it was also serious and tragic. There's a lot of mirroring events that happen in Injustice. If you really know the source material, I'm sure, Carrie, you picked up on a couple of moments that are very much in line with things that happen in Injustice.
I was really impressed with exactly how well it lined up with Injustice, because, like, I'd read all that and I'm like, how in the world is He-Man going to be fitting into this? You know, and then it was like, oh my god, it was like He-Man just had a mini Injustice going on in his world too. So it totally makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, the artwork is great, and you know, Tim Seeley really knows how to have these big, beautiful moments. Like, I'm sorry, Leo went past it. I love when he's facing up against Bane. I mean, that one image is just, look at that, it's just freaking beautiful. You know, and that's Bane, and that's you know, Kryptonian tech, juiced up Bane, and He-Man just like, nah, son.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's a great show of how strong He-Man actually is. Just absolutely love it.
Absolutely.
But the strong, what really, once you get to the end of the series where Supergirl's in it, and he catches friggin' Darkseid's ship. Like that shows the power of He-Man.
But
Like
what I also love is that it really did showcase how young He-Man is. You know, he may look like a man, but he's still kind of a teenager. He's in his like teenager, early 20s. He's very eager and a little naive. I mean, you know, you're talking about the dangers of injustice, and all he cares about is what's a reporter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wait. And they make multiple comparisons to him to Billy Batson too. So
Yes.
and you definitely see that with the the lightning and the power and the magic.
Yeah, but I just
and
also
what a
love
dark introduction right here, where he the person he's saving is about to kill themselves. Like
yeah, that was one of the best somber moments in it, and he's convincing her, Regina Taylor, not to, because there is things to hope for, and he wants to help save this world, and he wants her to be around to see that. And it was just such a beautiful heroic moment. And you know, again, we've talked about this, that sometimes a lot of modern comics feel that it's got to be a continuous long fight scene or just talking heads. You can still have your action, but you can still have the human aspect.
Yeah, I thought that this was interesting part too, Drew, because at first I was like, oh, this seems unnecessary. Why are they throwing this in here? Which you don't find out until the very end, that they bring that storyline back around. So yeah, great job by Tim Seeley on the writing on that.
Totally. And
I love these moments right here where they're riding the reanimated bones.
Yeah, and it's just funny. But for me, like I loved a lot of the small moments. Like I loved like the enthusiasm, like Oinko, the sorcerer who
Orko.
Orko, thank you, Orko. He gets
Did he
so
just say Oinko?
Orko, he's so happy his magic works better on Earth. And at one point he's talking about it with He-Man, and he's just like, and actually I think it's Leo, you're almost up to it. So if you just move a couple pages. Keep going. Keep going.
Where he says, "I'm a badass."
Yes, I love that moment. So, like right there, and I didn't even realize this until I said he's morphed his face to look like Batman.
Yep.
You know, I am a badass.
I am the knight.
And even better is that you have this moment. Like if you scroll down a little bit, you have Damian Wayne is talking to He-Man, and he's comparing that he feels that they're very alike in certain regards. And then at the end, he just drops the bomb. Is like, the difference between you and me is you make your parents proud. I'm like, God damn. Because you guys have to understand, in Injustice, Damian Wayne sides with Superman.
Yeah, he killed. Doesn't he kill Nightwing?
He accidentally kills Nightwing, and he spends most of his. He spends a nice chunk of time coming to terms with that, trying to redeem himself. You know, which essentially him being Batman is his redemption. You know, and as we see, that is not go well for him.
What's really cool is in Injustice is that they aged him. Go ahead, Leo. Sorry.
Yeah, not just real quick. So I didn't know that, but going into this, so that brings big significance to this panel right here, where he says, "On the path to attaining my legacy, I shed blood," and on the wall was a Nightwing mask, and you see his reflection within the mask.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To me, there's an angle of it. It almost feels like that death was wasted based on what happened in this.
No, it really wasn't. And that's the genius of Injustice. If you read the story, like Tom Taylor and his other writing cohorts in Injustice, they really took a different spin on Nightwing. And it's amusing. And the only thing I will say, and Carrie can agree with me on that, is that they found a way that Nightwing continued to still be the hero you expect even in death.
Well, didn't he go on to be Dead Man?
You know, God damn it, Rich. I try not to say something, and you just, God damn it. Yes, he becomes Deadwing.
Dead Man. The way you were talking about aging him, though, I mean, Injustice takes place over there's the first 5 years, and then Injustice 2, and there's a little bit of a skip around. So he starts off as like Damian is young in the very beginning.
No, it's just really cool to finally see in a comic book that they actually follow aging these characters.
Oh my! But this scene right here, when Wonder Woman snaps Damian's neck, I was like, God damn! Like, and she doesn't even think about it. She's just.
She's ruthless through this whole series. She's really ruthless.
Well, she siding with Superman did that to her. Like, she just became so convinced that his side was right that she lost a lot of her humanity in doing so. And then another one of the heartbreaking moments is literally in the first page of the next issue, where you see Batman is snapped out of it, and he's talking to our magic caster, and he just says, like, and he realizes what's happened, and he's like, "Son, this isn't your fight." And I'm just like, "Oh my God." Like, God damn, right there. Yeah. I mean, I could say loads about this. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed this as a crossover. I thought for the scope of it, it handled everything so well. But, I'm more than glad to shut up and let the rest of you talk, especially our guest as well, who literally read everything to catch up so she could understand everything in this book.
Take it away, Carrie.
Oh, yeah, no, this was one of the most emotional ones that I've read in a really long time. The whole Injustice series, but this comic in particular, finally bringing everything back together, especially since they took it from the end of the video game. I didn't play the video game. I didn't have time to go out and get a console and pick that up.
Oh, now you just lost us.
Yeah, so I'm missing out on
that. Carrie, for shame.
Yeah, but, the video game is just, it's just Mortal Kombat. Essentially, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not that much story to it, from what I understand.
Okay, so it took me a second to go, what? Why are we starting here? Oh, okay. But it was just beautiful, all the storylines, and I got to see so many different characters, and anyone I wasn't super familiar with, I'd look up. But since we're focusing on this sixth one, I have never read He-Man before. I watched it when I was a kid, and I'm old, so it was the first cartoon series, and it was fun. But then I'm watching this, and I was
He-Man series to read.
Oh, I'll get into them. I got my list going. You guys can keep adding to it. I try to read as much as I can from what I get from you guys. I am tired of seeing Toom. I will tell you that much. Toom. Everybody Toom.
Onomatopoeia.
But yeah, this was just a gorgeous series altogether, and the way that it wraps in, but it's just weaving. And I was commenting to Jeremy with the thing before that I'm juggling Robins because I can't. Batman is like a great dad and a terrible, terrible, terrible dad because all of his children die or just something really, really bad happens to them. But then he feels bad about it later. So, lesson learned. Which one are we going to lose this time? Oh, this one came back? I don't know. I don't even know who's behind that mask right now.
They actually, in the early Tom King run, they actually make fun of it. They're all at Bat Burger, and I forgot who they said it to.
Bat Burger.
They make a joke about one of them hasn't died and come back yet. It was pretty funny.
I would like to see that because that was one of the hardest things to do is keep track of Robins or Nightwings or whatever is that they wanted to be called, because it's like they all have the same hair color, they all apparently wear the same size of clothing, and they just share a closet in the Batcave and kind of swap around when they feel like it. That's my theory anyway. So.
I thought this was a really fun series. I also, like Carrie, probably have not ever read, or maybe I'm sorry, that's not true. I once read the first JLA versus Masters of the Universe that I got through 2 issues of, and then I just totally put down. So I wasn't sure how I was going to like this, but this was interesting. The way they mixed Skeletor into the Injustice universe, and then you had Darkseid, and then there was a deep history with Supergirl being in the Phantom Zone and her coming out, and then tying it all back to Shazam at the end. I mean, really a lot of aspects and things that were all up in the air. That, I mean, it wasn't a perfect story, but certainly fun and interesting for sure.
Yeah, I just need to say that one of my favorite Supergirl moments in this, when she just pulls that one villain apart like he's a tub toy. Like, was it Two at Arms or something like that? I don't know. It's just 2 of them. She pulls him.
Oh, too bad. Yeah.
She just like,
yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, that
rips the guy in half.
Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And Darkseid is really menacing in this.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, and it's funny because again, anytime I read Darkseid, I always hear Michael Ironside's like voice, just menacingly, cryptically booming in my head. I'm just thinking like, oh my God,
yeah, Darkseid is.
Yeah, Darkseid was.
Yeah.
And Orko, I mean, was super cute in this, and like you said earlier, Drew, that he had stronger powers on our Earth, and he was less a jester and more a sorcerer. Was a nice aspect for him. I'm sure Jeremy particularly enjoyed that aspect.
I did, actually, because Orko is one of my favorite characters, as well as Jabo's. The character doesn't get his due in the original series. Later on, they do a series where Orko becomes evil, actually, and takes over the whole Eternia and stuff, which is really insane.
And isn't there a Netflix series where he sacrifices himself as the hero?
Yep. In the newest Revelations.
So, Leo, what did you think of the whole thing?
I enjoyed it as well. So I have a little bit of a issue with Injustice. Being a Superman fan, like Superman's supposed to be hope. It's.
Do you know what happened that made him this Superman way, right?
Yes, I do, and
okay.
I don't know if it was covered in this. Yeah, because he looks at all the different universes,
all the different alternatives, and he finds that even if Lois lived, something else would take her life. It's the time travel death code.
Yeah, but I know why he did it. I know he had the Joker toxin, and he thought he was saving Lois, but turns out he was killing Lois
and the baby,
and all of Metropolis. But I don't think that would be enough to snap him to make him, Injustice Superman. I have trouble with that.
Well, Leo, that's the thing. Like, this is him, and we, like, people like me and Carrie who've read the whole thing, we've watched him go through all the stages. He bargained, he was angry, he accepted, and eventually he was even in denial. He just accepted, this is my way of saving everybody. And I think also, and they said this in the book, that being assimilated into Brainiac tech also didn't help, because he has that cold, calculating machine logic.
He lost his humanity.
Yeah. And I will say, one of the true Superman moments is that before he disintegrates, he says to Adam, and in one of those other worlds we were friends. And then I'm just like, my God, what a Superman moment.
So that's what made it really enjoyable. Not that scene, but having Adam in this book being that alternative to hope, being that light of hope in this book, and I love seeing through his eyes, like, he's before he does anything, he's doing the research, and he wants to do good, and that's all he wants to do. And it's seeing that in an Injustice book was very very different and very promising.
Yes.
And made the book a lot more enjoyable than what I'm used to.
Okay.
It let He-Man too, like. Sorry.
Go ahead, Carrie.
Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, it let He-Man, because since we got to see kind of a preview of the slight leaning towards the injustice going on in his world because of Faker, then he just came to our world and was just like, oh, well, Superman's world was just like, oh my God, this is how far it could have gotten, or how far it can go. And everybody had been telling Superman for, the past decade or so, like, you're a tyrant, you're being bad, this is not good, no, you're controlling people, you're killing people. But it took somebody else who is kind of the Superman of his world coming over and being like, this is what's going to happen in my world, and I can't let it happen, to where he finally recognizes it. It's like nobody from Earth or the Lantern Corps or Olympus or anywhere else could convince him. But Prince Adam did.
And I will say this, I loved how everything got tied up so well at the end. Like, what I thought it was such a satisfying ending in this case. And I was like, way to just tie everything up, all the loose ends good. There was that nice hopeful optimism, like with with him gone, the world finally was able to heal.
Oh.
And
that panel,
yeah,
that last panel that Leo had up, where Darkseid is putting the I'm sorry, Superman is putting his hand through Skeletor's chest, just reminds me of how he did it with the Joker, and it's interesting.
Exactly.
Voiced by Mark Hamill. So.
That's like almost an exact replica of the initial comic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And Skeletor is
so
hilarious.
A small, tiny bit to the story. But Jeremy, maybe you could clue us in. He-Man's mom is not from Eternia. She's from
Earth. She originally comes from Earth. She was an astronaut, and
didn't you watch the movie?
That was it. Was it in the cartoon?
Yeah, it was
back in the day. Really?
Did the original cartoon goes into it.
I don't remember that at all.
Was it even covered in the movie?
I don't know if it was covered in the movie, but in the cartoon, she was an astronaut and gets lost in space and lands on Eternia.
Oh, okay. Because it was cute. Like, she's talking about,
that's not the exact story, but
I don't know. She was talking about she was hanging out in her underwear and she made He-Man.
Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
I don't know. It was just cute. That's all.
She's a freak.
He was a freak back in the day. It happens.
You gotta love redheads. Yeah, but overall, great book. A lot of fun. I mean, honestly, I'm all for crossovers that are just enjoyable. I feel like it's so easy to just get lost in the action and then who will defeat who. Like this one accelerated the story, had its emotional moments, had its action shots, beautifully done. Like, I've met Freddie E. Williams, and he is just a super nice guy. And I told him how much I just
lucky.
The quality of his work is just gorgeous.
I've been hoping that Mitch brings him to Terrificon for years.
Yeah, I met him at New York Comic Con. He was super chill. So, but it is what it is. So, I guess we're running a little longer than usual. So I guess we'll just rate this and go home.
Leo?
I'm going to give this a solid 4. I enjoyed it.
All right. And, I'm going to go with a 3. Go ahead, Leo.
Oh, yeah. It's supposed to be 4 crowbars, but this time we're doing what is it? 4 Swords of Eternia? Is it?
There you go. That works.
Swords of Power.
Swords of Power. 4 Swords of Power. Okay. Love it.
All right. I'm going to go with 3.5 Swords of Power. I already gave my reasoning for why I liked it.
It's true, you did.
Carrie?
I'm going to go actually like 475 because it wrapped everything up for me with all the additional reading that I did earlier. So it gets bonus points for that.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, I'll go 4.5. Love the art, love the story. Don't know enough of the Injustice world. Need to learn more. Yeah, 4.5.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with 4.5 too. It was pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. I would recommend this to any fan of Injustice and or He-Man because great.
Awesome. Okay,
Cool.
well, there we have it. Injustice versus He-Man and Masters of the Universe. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. For me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. Head on over to thedorkening.com for more information there. But I do a bunch of shows during the week. You can find me over on the Dork Night, also on Comics Paradox with Justin and Brandon. I do this show with these awesome people. And also Still Token with, I do a show with them. Also Midweek Geeks. I'm probably forgetting something. But that's
Where
me.
are you gonna be this weekend, Leo?
Oh yeah. What is it? It's Canna
Expo.
Canna Expo,
At
yeah.
Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a new one, Leo. We haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the equipment monkey for the weekend.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we'll throw it over to Carrie.
Hey, I'm Carrie Sanders. You can find me at Carrie Sanders on Facebook. My picture is a crow, and from there you can find me everywhere else. I do a couple of podcasts we're doing every Sunday, and we're alternating which show we're doing under the Owlite brand on the PBDC network. But go ahead and just look me up on Facebook. Everything's linked from there.
Awesome. That.
Hey, it's your man, Velvet J, here on another Tuesday, wrapping it up at the end of the show. And we had a good time. We talked about He-Man and Orko. And good job.
Jar Jar.
Hey, it's your man Jar Jar Jeremy. No, it's Jar Jar. You can find me on Facebook at Jeremy Courtney, and come check out Comic Book Lovers Buy, Sell, Trade, and Auction House. Join the other 20,000 plus people buying, selling, and trading, and just hanging out and having a good time doing dork stuff. And check out Splash Pages every Tuesday night at 8, and the Midweek Geeks every Wednesday night at 9 on Facebook and YouTube. And you can find me.
Woohoo. Drew Lasso.
Hello there, everybody. When I'm not trying to figure out what costumes I can do with this mustache before it's gone forever, you can find me on Facebook. I'm Drew Mollo. I'm Ghostbuster Man 1984 on Instagram. I'm trying to post regularly again on Screen Rant in their comics department. And yeah, we're here every Tuesday. We've got great stuff planned for the next couple of months. We're going to be at eventually a con sometime. A lot of great stuff. So please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube. Keep an eye on that. Follow everybody. Follow the shows. Love us, please. And yeah.
Awesome. With that, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.